So, moving on to high expectations. Priority one, high expectations. In order to foster high expectations, we will develop vision and value statements for all stakeholders. In addition, we will create plans to support each stakeholder to achieve this vision. So, in order to support high expectations, our first goal is credit attainment. So, we want to see 80% of our students having the appropriate number of credits to be promoted to the next level at the end of the 2020 school year. Last year, we really focused on career pathways. This was a continuance of work that began in the 2019-2020 school year, where we were integrating exposure to various careers in ninth grade through the revision of the freshman seminar scope and sequence. That was pulled into 10th grade this year. Although we will still be adding additional career activities to 11th grade, including some possible job shadowing and internship opportunities in 11th grade for the purposes of the school improvement plan, we're going to focus on the strategy of developing an advisory period. I'll be sharing more details about that in just a few minutes. But our second goal is the student achievement plan. The teaching and learning team worked hard this year to build the website, which will house all of our important future ready and local assessment data. Our next steps will be for common planning teams to begin identifying or creating local assessments. Moving on. Before the advisory piece, I think it would be pretty helpful to have a picture of what our schedule is going to look like next year. So from what we know, we will be going back to a somewhat familiar routine. So good news. We will have 7 periods a day and we'll be operating on a 6-day cycle. As previously shared in department meetings, pending board approval, there's going to be a 25 to 30-minute time for teachers to meet without students in the building. Due to the impact this will have on busing throughout the entire district, we are not sure yet whether that time will be before or after school. Busing will also necessitate that RKAA and RHS will still have 2 separate bell schedules. So to give you an idea of what Session A might look like, we mapped out a sample schedule. Every staff member would be attending common planning meetings for 2 days out of the 6-day cycle. In order to break off into smaller groups and have time to create the materials and resources suggested in the common planning meetings, staff will have 2 workshop days. All staff will also be receiving some type of targeted professional learning. For some, this might be a continuation of math or literacy meetings, which were conducted for this year. We are still in the process of developing plans for targeted professional learning for non-teaching staff, specialists, and special education teachers. As indicated on day 3 of this sample schedule, there will also be a time designated for advisory. So, as far as advisory goes, one of the strengths that staff consistently vocalized is that we were doing a much better job communicating with parents this year. One piece of feedback that was echoed in both staff surveys and subcommittee meetings was that staff felt it was important to increase positive communication home. In an effort to do so, advisory will be expanding so that every student will have an advisor. Advisors will now be able to communicate areas of growth, as well as highlight the positive accomplishments of students on their advisory list. In order to give every student an advisor, all staff, including non-teaching staff, will have an advisory list. This advisory list will largely stay the same throughout the year, except of course if students are added or dropped from the roles. Staff will have 1 Session A period to complete duties related to advisory. The SIP subcommittee, in collaboration with administration, will be continuing to flesh out the details of advisory to share at the beginning of next school year.